Okay, week 5, day 2 is upon us already. As usual, I've got with me Doug and Stu. How are you both doing?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, me too, as well. Thank you.
That's good. Didn't we have some good racing yesterday? I think we all got to call some races as well, and some pretty tight finishes as well, weren't there?
Yeah, definitely in the Derby. That was called that really well, and it was a fantastic finish.
It was. It was a much better race than I expected it to be. I felt a bit guilty afterwards because I was sort of rubbishing it a little bit, wasn't I, beforehand? But it was certainly exciting, and let's hope for more of the same today.
Yeah, no, true. They were both very good races. I'm just going to shout out my third in the group too. Bedford Temple Stakes.
Yeah, that was.
Just thought I'd mention that.
that was pretty good. You got quite a few running the money yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It ended up there was a few fifths and a third, and then there was a couple. But I was hoping a little bit more. I thought some of my handicap horses would have done better yesterday, but I'm going to blame the race kit, obviously.
Okay. Anyway, more importantly, the thing most people are concerned about is how did you get on with the cat?
Right, no, we managed to collect 2 of them. One went to somebody else. I've got a new member of my family, little Holly, she's hiding in the chimney breast now because obviously they take quite a while, the little feral cats, to just get used to human contact again. Right. So I'll probably for the next week I won't see much of her. She'll just come out every now and then.
If she pops out, take a photograph and we can stick it up tomorrow so she can be adopted as
once I get a photograph and I can see all her colours properly, then I'd be happy. But she's very normal. They're always very, very timid to begin with.
Yeah, they are, like most things, they'll come out when they're hungry, won't they? So
they only get domesticated by food.
So today then we've got a little bit more love for the jumps today. I think we'll be having a more in-depth look at some of the jump races, but we've got a couple of classics over in France. So it's going to have a bit of crusty bread and some pâté, a bit of cheese and a glass of the old vin rouge, and have a look at the French Derby, shall we? The Prix du Jockey Club Lancia, which is race 21.
A reasonable field.
A very good looking field, actually. I think probably a slightly better looking field than we thought we had yesterday, but this is, remember, is just about 2 furlongs shorter. It's a furlong and a half shorter. The French decided, it must be a good 20 odd years ago now, to cut their Derby down to 1.25 miles because all the best horses were going in the Epsom Derby, and it turned out to be quite a good idea for them, really, because now quite a few horses go for this one that would have tried their luck over 1.5 miles really and not stayed the trip. So it's made it a pretty good sort of race. Any thoughts?
Well, if I was, I'd go straight for Stephen Rand's horse, Protagonist. I mean, certainly with the form and everything. It won the Preakness as well, so it does. What's the Preakness? 1 mile, 1.5, isn't it? So it's only got to travel another furlong. So
yeah,
Steve, you've got. I think you'll have another winner there. I think he had a very good day yesterday.
Yeah,
Steve,
I don't think you'll be.
Yeah,
did he 40? Yeah, crikey. I don't think you'll be getting a Christmas card off Stephen Rand because for 2 reasons. One, you keep tipping his horses, which he don't like because it thinks it makes him going to lose, and 2, you keep getting his name wrong. I mean,
well, I'm trying to explain it. The A in Spanish, and obviously I speak Spanish half the day and I speak English the rest of the day. So what actually happens is A is pronounced A, so obviously Ra, it just comes out like that. I do apologise to him.
I think it's just because you're posh, but there you go. Anyway, well, there's no chance of me getting his name wrong. Yeah, I mean, the thing that put me off that one is that is winning the Preakness is like running around a teapot, isn't it? And on one of those little American dirt tracks, this is going to be slightly different. So if it can handle the track, then yeah, it does look like it's got some good form, and you would think it can do well. What are your thoughts, Doug? Are you going to?
Oh, look, I reckon I'm going to cancel out the Kiss of Stu and go for Protagonist as well.
Oh, right. Okay then. Well, I'm not on
Stephen Rand, so let's jump on.
It does look like it's got good form, and it's £6 better than everybody else in the race. But my concern is it better going around a turning dirt track than it is on turf? I presume its first race might have been on turf. It's definitely run the last twice on the dirt. That would be the only thing that would put me off it. I keep saying to everybody that Darren Thompson's horses are running really well, and he's going to win a big race soon, or he's going to win a really big one soon, I think. And Villa Los Amendros has won and been second twice, so got to be worth a sneaky little selection, I think, that one. So I'll go for Villa Los Amendros because
it would probably be quite a good price as well, I could imagine. Because you'd imagine Protagonist, Shiver Me Timbers and King's Rock Boy would be the favourites for the race. That's Villa Los Almendros will probably get a good price on that one.
Yeah, probably good do. Of course, the race could be turned into a riddle by the bottom one.
Yeah, as well. You've got one in this, Martin, as well. What's its chances?
I don't know. It's one of them weird ones. This one for me. Most of my middle distance horses like hanging round the back and then coming with a run about 2 furlongs out, and they seem to be better over the longer trips now. I'm in my mile and a half, mile and 3/4, 2 milers doing all right. My mile and a quarter horses just tend to get left behind a little bit and get going too late. So I don't think it's got a great deal of chance. But I couldn't get it in any other race, and I thought, well, you never know, stick it in. It might run into 5th, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll trouble the judge. Let's put it that way.
Right, I'll keep the wallet in my pocket.
So that's the French Derby then. Hopefully, of course, after this one we'll have the transfer window. Some of these Derby winners and things will all clash together at Royal Ascot next time. That could be interesting. So move on to the fillies then. The Prix de Diane. That's the French Oaks. Same as again. That's been cut down to 1.25 miles. Small field again, and only one winner in it this time. So what do you like, Doug?
Interesting ratings.
Yeah, because it could be a 0 to 110, couldn't it?
5, yep, 104 to 110. It's just Your Horse and Lishkova down the bottom. What's your chances with Edge of 17? Where was its third?
Well, to be brutally honest, she's in there trying to get 5th because she was going to run in another race, and then I saw that there was only 4 in this on Thursday afternoon, and I thought, you know what, the race I was going to put her in, she hadn't got a great deal of chance of winning. She's one of them balmy horses that needs 1 mile and a furlong. Not quite quick enough to win over 1 mile, and doesn't quite stay 1.25 miles, so probably got no chance at all of staying 1 mile and 2.5 furlongs. But at the time, there was only 4 in it, and I thought, well, if she comes last, I'll pick up 5th place prize money. And the rest of them that were in at the time didn't look that good. So I thought, you never know what might happen. You get a slowly run race, you get tactical race, you might just pinch it. So again, it was one of those. There's no really. It was the best chance for her to pick up some prize money. I don't think she'll win.
I reckon I'm keen to go Stephen Rann again, but I'll just steer away from that and go with Moonshell for Martin Cairns.
Yeah, it's a wise choice. It looks like it's getting better. I mean, a third, and a second. Don't like the Simpsons, so I'm not going for Marge Simpson, whether it wins or not.
Well, that one seems to be going in the wrong direction, doesn't it? 1, 2, 4, 7. It's
There's been a couple of false horses that started really well, and then not. I assume a bit of bad luck in running, and some of the fields have been quite big at times. So
yeah, I don't know whether he wants to get. Paul wants to get the vet in. I reckon he might have the virus or something because his horses are not running as well as they usually do, are they?
They don't appear to. He doesn't seem to have the same domination. I mean, that he had last year. But then we've had a couple of other trainers move up. They've got better. Jim's obviously improved this year. Stephen Rann, has appeared again where he wasn't here last year. I mean, if Thunderspark was in about, on a regular basis, I think poor old Paul might not be champion trainer this year. But I'm sure he's
busy. I'm sure he's busy at this moment hatching a plan for world domination in the SO6 world. And after the transfer window, he will come back all guns blazing and probably win every race. Now we've said that.
Yeah, but I'm going to tip Lady Bex. I do think he's going to get a double here. He was so good yesterday. Sands horses, I think, take a lot of beating.
Right, so not only have you lost your Christmas card, I don't think you'll be getting a New Year's greeting now either if you've done that. That's 2 out of 2. I'm going to be boring and I'm going to copy Doug because I think Moonshell Martin Cairns looks like it's the only one that's really improving if you look at the form figures. I know you can't really tell from the form figures because you don't know what sort of race he's been in, but the only other one that's figures are sort of going in the right order are mine, Edge of 17, and I know she's not going to win. So Martin Cairns is another one of them trainers, isn't he? He's always there and around about knocking on the door, and you just know that one day he's going to have a really big winner.
Yeah, one's going to sneak in.
And this could be it because it's joint top rated and it's got to be in with a chance. So I think it's a double tip for Moonshell. So Martin Cairns might not be overly impressed with the fact that we're tipping his horse. There you go.
I'm going to stick my neck out and give you the tri-cast here. I think it'll be Lady Bex first.
All right.
And then it'll be Moonshell and then Marge Simpson. So the top 3 will be the tri-cast.
I do like the way you are such a brave punter, Steve. You offered to give us the tri-cast in a 7-horse race. You wouldn't offer to give us the tri-cast in a 23-runner handicap, would you? And it would be a bit of use.
Well, yeah, you're quite right. I wouldn't obviously go for a forecast in a 23-runner race.
It's a wonder you didn't volunteer to give us the whole lot, because you could probably put Edge of 17 and Lashkova as last but one in either order. You've only got to figure out where Goa Bay and Philosophy Rock Girl are finishing, and you've sorted the whole race out.
Well, a combination combination tri-cars now then. I'll include those two.
Okay, so that's about it for the flat today. Really top races. It's a quiet day on the flat after all the big stuff of yesterday, but the jumpers really do take centre stage today. And the first one to have a look at is one of the biggest jump handicaps of the season, and that is the Hennessy Gold Cup. In real life, it's changed its name this year to something like the Ladbroke or something. It was one of the longest standing sponsorships, so I'm hoping that, like the Mackerson, Gray's going to keep this as the Hennessy, because it's been it was the Hennessy from 1960 something, I think. So, and it's a really good race because it's a handicap where you get the top quality horses. Gold Cup winners running this, Denman won it, and you get Grand National horses in it as well. And that's the. I said yesterday I was going to have a bit of a beef about it. This is where I think we need to change the handicap rules a little bit, because I want to see the 3 mile, 5 furlong, 4 mile horses being able to run in these 3 1/4 mile handicaps, because they could win them, and in real life they run in them. And I think there's too many good horses that run at around the 4 mile mark that don't get a chance to run in enough races. John Morgan had one a few years ago, Present Abbey, and he had Struggles Glory was another one. They get such a high handicap mark, they can't get in any races that they can go, and there's absolutely no reason at all why they couldn't run in races like this, because your 3 mile, 5, 6, 4 mile horse can win these races. So I'd like to see the handicap mark frozen at 3.5 miles for the jumps, and basically once you qualify to run in a 3.5 mile race, that would allow you to go down to 3 mile 2, and then you can go in anything above as well. But I think we get some really big competitive races then, rather than the same 20 horses running the Moors Millions every week.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad idea. I reckon that's worth debating about a bit later in the season.
Yeah.
It sort of makes sense. Really.
Yeah, I mean, now's not the time to do it, because it's the middle of the season, but people can start thinking about it, and at least it gives them a bit of an idea how things might work out. So let's take a look at this then. It's got some pretty good horses in it. Looking at it from the handicap point of view, Autobahn at the top is 141, so this is it's a Group 3 handicap, so you could, technically speaking, have a 160 horse in this. I mean, my Ettrick Mill that's 150, I would have put in this race if we'd have been able to run it, but because of the handicap thing with the distance, he was ineligible. And we go right down at the bottom to, I think the lowest rated one is 77, and that's yours, Stu. So,
oh, what a surprise!
but you could put 2 in this as well, couldn't you? So it's a really good race.
You could put 2 in this. I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
Not that I would have had to, that would really probably been any good either. So no, I don't stand any chance for mine. It purely is just there for the run.
Oh, is it? Right. Well, I've got the Pill Garlic in it. That's mine, and I don't think that the Pill Garlic will win, because it's just a little bit too short. I mean, he needs 3.5 miles really. But he does like to go out from the front sometimes, so he could just set a stiff old pace and nick it or run into a place. So I'm aiming him for I don't want to tell everybody, I'm aiming him for the Welsh National next, so this is just a little bit of a prep for that. Running that soon. There's some good horses in it. You can't look too far away from Leon van Rensburg when you're looking at these type races, can you? Because he does do really, really well in them, and he's got 2. He's got Vanslot, the Lack, and Jungle Cove. But looking at the form for all these horses, there isn't anything that automatically sticks out as being head and shoulders above all the others. So I'm going to go for Ashton for James Follis, because that had a really good season last year, and it's come back. It's a return. I'd like to see a returning horse win, and I think, if I remember rightly, it went off in the Gold Cup pretty well fancied in the end, and it just would be nice to see one of these sort of 2nd or 3rd tier trainers, because James Follis, he's around the same sort of level as us, isn't he? And it'll be good to see him win one of these big races. And Ashton has definitely been around for at least 2 seasons already, so that would be good. So I'm going to go for Ashton.
Good choice. Although I'm not sure it'll with the weight it'll have to carry against the better horses. I don't agree with you there. No, I think it's a tough old field. To pick one out of it. I mean, Paul's got one right down the bottom of the handicap, running off 112, which probably is just going to be over 10 stone, I think, just basically looking at it. So it's almost out of the handicap, which means, the top trainer's running off 9 stone 12. Same with Drummond Shawboy for Jim Murray. Big advantage.
Didn't that Drummond Shawboy win from out of the handicap last week?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm sure that Drummond Shawboy won from out of the handicap last week. I reckon he was one of your hot horses yesterday.
Yeah, he was, and he won the United Horse handicap. That's what really brought my attention to it. I mean,
we don't like to pick on handicappers, do we? But it won well last week. How come it's only got 110?
Well, I think last week it went off. It was out the handicap again. I think it was only on sort of 85, 90.
Oh, was
I
it?
think it's probably gone up 10, 15 pounds. I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay.
So no, I'd look at them too. I'm going to shout for the two, and I will go for either James Cook or Drummond Shaw Boy.
Right, well, you can have two if you like, because trainers can have two. So
Thanks very
so
much.
you can have two.
One of them will win.
Okay, that was cool.
Stu, will Stu stick his neck out and do his top three, first three passes?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay. This is a big handicap. Yeah, do your TriCast.
Third. Oh, that's tricky.
I'll let you box them up.
Okay, thanks. I don't know. Let's say, and then I'll throw in Jungle Cove for Leon. Those three.
No worries.
Mark my words this evening.
There you go.
We'll remember that.
We will. What do you reckon, Doug?
I'm going to go for Leon's second horse, Lancelot Dulac. I think Jungle Cove's probably going to carry a fair bit of weight. Watto Bungan's obviously done bit 141. Ashton 136. I'm not sure weights. I don't think they're brilliant enough. So I just think Lancelot Dulac, his form's pretty good. Only one bad run, and its last four starts aren't much different to Jungle Cove. And, he's down to 17 in the rating.
Yeah, interesting thing about it is
I'm going to go for Lancelot.
It's got a higher rating over hurdles than it's got over fences, which is interesting. It's the highest rated hurdler in the race.
I wonder if it's... Yeah, I mean, it didn't do particularly well last week over a furlong further nowhere.
That could be interesting.
There's a Orchid handicap, so I'm not so sure about that one.
We'll see.
Might have just been thrown in.
Okay then, so Doug, what are you going to throw in for your other two? Because we're going to do TriCasts, we might as well all do them, mightn't we? So
I'm going to go with that one. And I'll go with James Cook, Paul Rhodes, our geezer that just found the place.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I'm director, send it, mate.
Yeah, is that not your ancestry we're talking about?
Oh, you started it, so it wasn't us that said anything.
Man. Prisoners and prostitutes.
Yeah, you've all got those tattoos around your ankles.
Yeah, that's why the first settlement was top-heavy men, and then they got worried that boys would get up to unnatural acts, i.e. boy sex. So they sent out a boat full of prostitutes. The Lady Juliana.
To stop the boy sex, obviously.
All you need is one bloke to find a dress somewhere and bang on, it's on.
Oh, that's thanks for that little history lesson there.
Yeah, right, okay. So we certainly get onto some subjects in this thing, don't we? Goodness me. Anyway, so what have you decided in the end?
So I've got Lancelot Dulac, James Cook, and I'll put in Drummond Shaw Boy as well. That's obviously it's interesting form, isn't it? 0 pulled up 9th. So it must get back in its races, but it's in.
Yeah, this is a race I think where the ones out the back might be concerned that they'll get victim of the pull-up kit. What did I say was going to win? I said Ashton was going to win. The other one I like the look of is Smarty, because look at the form that Smarty's got. 0-2-2-1.
It's all Hunter Chases, though, isn't it?
It's what?
Smarty's they're all Hunter Chase.
Well,
races.
I mean, it doesn't really make that much difference to me. I don't think that matters. I think you beat what's in front of you, and if it's a horse that doesn't like getting beat too much, second, and first, it's got to be in with a bit of a chance of making the frame, maybe at a big price. I just like to think I'm the braver tipster amongst us rather than you lot that keep tipping the same people, Stephen Round and Paul Rhodes and stuff. Sometimes you've got to go right out of the thing and say, do you know what, I'm going to go for something a little bit different. I'm not going to go that different by tipping myself or anything daft like that, but Ashton to win, Smarty to come second, and third will be Carefully Prince, because that will jump the fences really safely because it'll go around carefully. So
you'll get that on the stream anyway.
Yeah, that's the Hennessy Cognac Gold Cup then, which is a really good race, 3 miles and 2 furlongs, and there's a pretty good supporting card at Newbury as well. Race 18, the long distance hurdle. This looks like it's pretty good. Seneca, 152 rating at the top. What do we like to look of?
Go, Doug.
I find it interesting that you've got your horse in Chase.
Yeah, well, I've put it in because because he won amazingly that first week. He couldn't run the first week. This is where we don't want to go into this into too much detail at this stage. But the first week couldn't get a race into him because there was only one race over a suitable distance, which was like 4 miles or whatever it was. There was only one in week 1, and I put my other one in, Fine Kingdom, who I thought was better than him. He trialled better than him. Back home here, Fine Kingdom is better than Ettrick Mill every time. Beats him every time. So I put Fine Kingdom in, and Ettrick Mill didn't get a race in week 1. In week 2, there were 2 long distance races, so I put one in one and one in the other. Ettrick Mill amazed me and won. The second week, again, I could get them both in. He won again. Because he won again, he's got a handicap mark of 150, I think, which means now there's no races for him to go in. Now, I had no choice at all last week. There was nothing he could run in at all. This week, I thought I can do one of 2 things. I can either run him in a hurdle race and see if I get a hurdle mark for him just in case he might be. I didn't think he'd have any chance really dropping down in trip, but I thought if he's got a handicap mark over hurdles, at least I can run him over a hurdle race now and again. The other thing I could have done is run him over a mile too short in something like the Lancashire Chase, but then I thought, well, if I do that, people are going to think I'm doing that just to get his handicap mark down, which I don't want people to think I was going to do. That would have been the wise thing to do. Would have been running yesterday in that Group 1 3-mile race, which he would have been eligible to run in, and he might have got his handicap mark dropped down a bit, but I didn't think that was playing the game fair, so I didn't do it. In an ideal world, I would have run him in the Hennessy, because a 4-mile horse running in the Hennessy Gold Cup is realism to me. So I put him in this one just so I can get him a run, really, because there's no point keeping him in if you don't. And people will be surprised at me saying this, but I am seriously contemplating taking him out this week because he can't run in any races, because he's rated 150, which is too high to get in any race that he's got any realistic chance of winning, and there aren't any open handicaps. So I think there's one race at Cheltenham in about week 11 or something, and then the Grand National. So he's
just keep him for the National.
Yeah, but if I run him in the National 150,
or run him in the Paul Moors,
but that means I get 2 races. I get 2 races out of the next what, 8 weeks. Whereas if I put another horse in, I'll get 8 races. I'll get 8 chances of winning as opposed to 2. And if I run him off 150 in the Grand National, most of the Grand National field is going to be out of the handicap, which is going to ruin it.
Yeah, but that's just unfortunate, isn't it? I mean, we had similar last year. I mean, I think it was a 150 rated horse that wasn't John's.
We did, but I mean, I'm not having a go at the handicap, because that's your job, Stu. You do that, not me.
No, well, not really for the handicap. I think we have this problem with every year for the amount of fields. I mean, let's be honest, half the field are out of the handicap in every handicap we run.
Yeah, but I think the point I'm saying is that the really long distance races, because there are so few races they can run in, if you can't be given a 4-mile horse 150, 160s, because they can't run in any other races. Then you got to look at it logically, I think, and say, well, that's based on what it's done. It's won 2 races and it's got 150. It won the first one by about half a length, I think, or he didn't win by a lot, and he basically can't run again for the rest of the season unless I want to just tag it round at the back. So
I think that's what John Morgan brought up in the forums at the start of the season. I think he put up a similar sort of point for his long distance horses, national horses. There's not much he can put it in.
There's not. And in real life, as I said to somebody the other day, those Grand National horses do not run over 4 miles all season. They run over 3 1/4, 3.5, 3, and then they run over 4 or 4, 3 or whatever it is in the National. So they're exciting and they're good, these long distance Moors Millions races, but we get the same horses in them every week. And then if you get, like I say, I mean, this is the first time it's happened to me. It's a bit of a freak, but I can now see from the top trainers' point of view when they're getting their horses that they can't get into races. And John Morgan, when he's got these great chases and he can't get him in, he must be tearing his hair out. So I think we've got to look at that, really. Yep. But anyway, I bet you wish you hadn't asked me why I put it in now, Doug, don't you?
No. You're thinking, why did we ask you first?
So what are you going for?
I'm going to go for War Goddess, Paul Rhodes. I think he's got to come back to form at some point, Paul Rhodes, and he start getting some big winners in again.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same.
Oh, I don't know now then. Well, now I'll go for the top rated. I think Seneca. Mind you, its form's not particularly good. What did it get? 150 rating from 1 race. No, it's come back from last year. How did it go on last year? Which is good. We'd like to see a return. I won a Group 2 hurdle last year. Didn't do particularly well in the Sun Stars at the end of last season. So it's really come. Maybe not. It might be a little bit. I'm really confused. Sorry. But,
again, I mean, Martin Cairns must be looking at that and thinking, why has it got a rating of 152? Why hasn't it gone down?
Yeah, no, I'm surprised over the last. It hasn't particularly run that well. The first 3 races it's been in the Group 2 came 5th, Group 1 came 12th, badly outpaced, but it was over heavy ground, so maybe that was just a bit too much for it. No, I think the handicapper might have been a bit mean with that one. Not that the handicapper's ever mean, but yeah, no, I'll still stick with Seneca.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him.
This last start, this race I won, it was a dead heat.
Was it?
A dead heat with one of Paul Rhodes' horses, Born Angel.
I know what Tom means now. I found out last week because of that thing that you put up, Stu. That I think it's trainer's office manager. It stands for.
Oh, well, I never knew that.
Yeah, you know that thing you put up last Friday when you sent us that link to something that happened in about 1873 when the league first started.
Yeah, I do remember. Oh, right, it came up with...
Yeah, I'd actually read it. I don't know if you actually thought anybody would read it, but I did read it, and it said in there, Tom, and in brackets it got trainer's office manager.
Oh, okay. I know it had been named after something, but I can't remember. No, I can't find a horse called Born anything that Paul's got in his hunt stable.
Perhaps that was last season then.
Unless this is from last season.
Yeah, it might be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's only run. Yeah, that race it did win the Cleve was last season, race week 9 of last season.
Okay.
So, but I'm surprised it hasn't come down in the handicap because, like you say, it hasn't done particularly well its last 2 races this season. But we'll see.
We'll see what happens today. If it goes and wins this by 6 lengths, we're all going to look like a right bunch of Herberts, aren't we?
No, I tipped it. I'll look good.
Yeah, I was just about to say most people probably think we look like a right bunch of Herberts most weeks anyway. So here you go. So jump across the sea. Then we got 2 big races in Ireland today as well. We got the Morgiana Hurdle, which is a 2-mile Group 1.
I'll go with Shanghai Geisha, Paul Rhodes.
Oh, I had a funny feeling you might tip that, Doug. I can imagine you quite happily going with a Shanghai Geisha. But...
And I'll be nice and bold and go for the show for Joshua. He's up for a win, I think.
Ooh,
whatever.
It's a heavy ground too.
It is, yeah.
None of them have really got much in it. Softish is the best. So.
It is, and that's the one that I'm going to go for because Molliet Surfer, who had a week and a half, didn't he, the other week? Maybe he might do all right with Eyes of a Cloud Catcher. He's got some great names for his horse, doesn't he? I don't know where he gets them from, or what they are. I don't really know.
He uses that word phenomenon, which we don't like.
No, it's funny, isn't it, when you look at some names and you think, well, they're going to be a pain to say, but they're not because they roll off the tongue okay. But then you get others that look like they're going to be easy to say, and they're not. And it's all to do with the way the words flow. That one does. Eyes of a Cloud Catcher is all right. Most of them in that race, right? I know Jim Murray had one yesterday, which looked just like a simple sort of name, and it was a right pain in the neck to say because of the way the words didn't flow rhythmically, if you like. It's just me talking like a musician type thing. Doug will know what I mean. You might as well go and have a cup of tea, Steve, because you won't understand any of this.
I have no idea.
You know what I mean, don't you, Doug?
I've got no idea either.
Oh, of course, I was forgetting you're a drummer, aren't you, Doug? So, sorry about that. I was getting you mixed up with a musician there for a second. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm going for Eyes of a Cloud Catcher.
Shanghai Geisha for me.
I've got the show.
You've got the show. No, Derek Hinton's got one. Derek hasn't had a winner yet this season. He's not got many horses or what, but he was the first season I was around. He was winning quite a lot, so I don't know what's happened with Derek, whether he's sort of like just eased off a little bit or not got many horses in or what, but hopefully Derek will get a winner soon.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. You're right. He hasn't got a particularly big stable.
Because he was a star of our first Christmas show, wasn't he, last year? We still haven't got anybody who's confirmed they're going to go on that, so we might either press gang people in or just say, you know what, you're going to have to put up with us talking absolute rubbish or we won't do one unless people start being brave and agree to come on. It's never seen such a show of cowardice from a bunch of people ever, really. Can you believe it? That nobody will come on and talk to us. But
obviously we...
apart from Daniel Taunton, Carl Arrogante, which Stu is all the same person. I think you sometimes think it's 3 different people. He said he'll come on, and he's the only one that is 100% guaranteed he'll come on.
Well, that's good. I mean, maybe we should definitely put some pressure on a couple of them.
Maybe we get more people to come on if we got their names right more often as well. That might help. So.
Oh, don't start. It's not me. I'm not going to interview. They don't have to worry.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think you probably will. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. We've one more race to look at, and that's the Punchestown Chase, which is a 2.5 mile Group 1 straight after.
A small field, bit of an elite field. It's only a couple of the bottom 3 probably don't have much of a chance, but the other 5 all top trainers. But I think Leon will win that with Sail Away. Sail away, sail away, sail away.
You see, I knew you'd do that. I knew it's just once again proving your musical credibility. You start singing the Enya version. You could have sung the Deep Purple song called Sail Away, or you could have sung the Randy Newman had a song called Sail Away as well. But you picked the sort of middle of the road one all the time. I don't know.
Well, you know me, I like a bit of Val.
When you get your Val Doonican and your Cilla Black albums on over Christmas, you'll be okay.
Oh, no, that's where I couldn't go Cilla Black. Not with that scousing mouth. No, better come out. Because we've got scouse in this.
You can say what you like. She was a Liverpool supporter anyway. I didn't like her either.
Yeah, no. Which? Surprise. Yeah, I'll give you a surprise.
Do you know who we're on about, Doug, or did she not make it to Australia?
No, she is.
So, there you go then. So, you're going for Sail Away. What are you going for, Doug?
I'm going to go for Joshua's horse, Awe of Concerts.
Rated £24 superior to anything else in the race, so you've got to think it's got to be in with a chance, haven't you? But his form figures don't look that spectacular, do they?
No, I mean, it's only one Group 1 at the end of last season. It's a returning horse. I mean, this season it's come third. It's only had a couple of runs. Came through in a Group 2 and through in a Group 3. Group 3, so I'm not so sure about that one. I think it's carrying over a bit like Marty Cairns' horse in the previous one. It's carrying over a fairly high rating from last year.
Yeah, and obviously if this was a handicap, you wouldn't be giving it any chance at all, would you? With having to give that much sort of weight away, but it hasn't got to do that. So you would think it would have the ability to win, and so you have to go with it. Really, I'm afraid I've got to go with it as well.
Yeah. Good.
Boring.
And that's it then, I suppose, for day 2. A little bit more quality on the jumps card today for a change. That's probably the first time we've had that this season, hasn't it? That the jumps has taken centre stage. We've still got a couple of decent flat races, and there's a few flat handicaps as well, but I would guess that we'll be seeing a lot of these jump races live tonight. Let's hope the winners are nicely spread out. We come back tomorrow for one more go before Christmas. It'll be our final appearance of the year. We're going to put a Christmas hat on.
Carols tomorrow.
Yeah, we couldn't we put a Christmas hat on or something?
Yeah, come on, we'll sing a carol.
Well, I think you probably could do a singing. You're the one that seems to want to do the singing, Stu.
So put a mic in front of me, I'm terrible.
Okay, right. So with that, then we'll say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep, hasta mañana. Yeah, great guys. Bye.
Sajien.